Arsenic and Old Lace is a play that was a hit from the get-go. When it arrived on the American stage in 1941 on Broadway by a relatively unknown author, Joseph Kesselring, people didn't know what it was going to happen, and it ran for 5 years. And it's a brilliantly architected murder mystery, but of course it's very silly. And at the heart, to have these dear, dotty old ladies who happen to be homicidal maniacs at the same time is a wonderful combination. Delicious. Sue Bachman and Barbara Somerville, two of the finest actresses in town, and I believe that they've been spending their entire lives waiting to grow old enough, just barely old enough, to play the Brewster sisters.
We were so delighted when we finally got cast in the same show as co-actors versus director and actress or that kind of thing. So we feel good being together, and we trust each other on the stage. So and that's a big thing with, you know, coming into a group of people that you don't know very well. You don't know what they're going to do or how they'll cover if something goes wrong or whatever. And I think with Barbara and I, we know kind of what to expect with each other.
These delightful aunts, loveliest people you ever met, dearest people. You want crumpets from them every morning, you know, who happen to have 12 bodies in the cellar.
We have these old men that we kind of use as our, I don't know, extracurricular activity that we charm and poison with the wine. And it's kind of like living in two different worlds. And we don't, you know, even when there is a body in, you know, in the window seat, we don't really like act like it's a big deal or anything, like we're not like vultures or anything. We kind of ignore it and just kind of flutter around it like it's not really a bad thing.
Martha is really more of the practical of the two sisters. She wears sensible shoes. She is also the cook and the chemist of the two of them. She has discovered all of grandfather's old poisons from up in the laboratory and mixes them up into the elderberry wine to serve to our elderly guests. Arsenic and Old Lace is a black comedy, but it's also particularly a screwball comedy. Sammy Joe Kinnett was a kind of former student of ours, and he's just one of the funniest. In fact, I think he is the funniest young comic actor that we've met in a long time.
Delighted! We're so glad it's a name, Mortimer.
Teddy Brewster is a character who thinks he is, he believes with every bit of his being that he is Teddy Roosevelt. He's the President of the United States. And really everybody kind of plays along and takes care of him in that sense. Because the cops come in the door and immediately, they immediately salute him. With all the crazy antics that he's got going on for him, there will definitely be some show stealing going on for that. I mean, running up the stairs every single time, yelling, I fight invisible people on the stairs. I mean, he's going to steal a little bit of the show. I started this production with the idea that, oh, it's a really black comedy. You know, there are bodies in the cellar. You know, and we all know from David Mamet, Neil LaBute, and Martin McDonough, and the Coen brothers, how dark comedy can be. There's a lot of wit, there's a lot of snap, there's a lot of play, and I don't think you want to violate that. I think you want to preserve that. That's its wonderful essence, and we're hoping to preserve that in our production. Michael Caine, last year's winner of Best Actor, Best in a Comedy for The Lion Kind, shows up as Mortimer Brewster, the theater critic who hates the theater and who has the responsibility of trying to rescue his dearly beloved aunts who happen to be serial killers.
There's a body in the window seat. Yes.
I discover Mr. Hoskins in the window seat, and I think it's my crazy brother who thinks he's President Roosevelt. I immediately think he's killed them, but in fact, my aunts have. But
You put it in the line?
and he's trying to protect them and cover it up, and He's basically trying to keep everything together and try and keep the cops out of from arresting my aunts. He's just proposed to his girlfriend, and you know, everything's kind of lining up in his life, and so, you know, it all happens in one night, and he's trying to make everything work out, and it's a feel-good story, yeah, with arsenic and strychnine in it, you know, and elderberry wine.
Everyone in this play is a lunatic, and they're charming.
I don't know.
So I think there's a good mixture of,
Yeah.
you know, the craziness and the, you know, this, I don't know, sinisterness, and then the fun side as well, you know.
Everybody loves a good murder mystery. You know, it's a wonderful genre. You know, whether it appears Sunday night on PBS or it appears in you know, in the movies or wherever else. We always want to go back to. There's nothing like being scared and laughing at the same time. So it's a good play to have as cleanup, batting cleanup for our season, and it's a good place for it. It's really an American classic.